And we're going to get started right now. Alright. Hello, everybody. This is episode 31. 31 episodes, huh? Episode 31 of Shoot the Breeze, a chill interview and a chill time all around for you and me. I'm your host, HeavyDivider, and alongside me is, well, he's actually a very funny individual. If you guys don't know, he's really good with puns. I know. I've got good competition anytime we basically try to create a bunch of puns, but besides that, he's actually a very kind individual, is actually very wily too. A good person to talk to, as well as somebody you can always have a fun time basically interacting with, no matter what. My guest for tonight is OtakuHound, but we call him Otaku for short. Welcome, buddy.
Oh, hello. Thanks for having me, Heavy.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem at all. I will say it's been a while since we talked to one another, but I'm glad to be able to get a chance to talk to you on hand here. So, before we do anything else here, notes decided to basically go away on me. But before we do anything else, let me ask you the first following question on hand, and that is, how the hell did we meet?
Well, that one I remember quite exactly, but not 100%. I do know it was from VRC Roleplays, what we did. I forget how I got in there, though, but I think it was the final season. I was always like a little bit of a stand-in, and then the final season I finally got pulled in for like a few episodes as a real student with some other people, and then the RP just ended.
I can actually add into it at, before that, we actually met before the VR High thing, and I can tell you how. It was for Arnie. Like, before that or so, you were, like, walking around as this Ketsu, avatar. It was, like, a male version of it or so, before you had this avatar right here. Before you had this avatar made and customized and everything, you were walking around as this kind of, like, a fox-like, it was, like, in, like, a gi or something.
Oh, I still have it, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Pretty much that on hand. And
yeah, I had that somewhere here.
And it was in the Nair, like, flower field and everything. That's how I met you. Like, it was for Arnie.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yep, that's the one I met you. One I met you in.
Yeah, this is the one I used a lot.
Yeah, and it was before the VR High, but the next time around we met was during VR High. It was, like, during the, it was during, like, the whole tryouts and everything. I wasn't there. It was, like, you were doing the tryouts and everything, and then I got a chance to meet you when you were, like, one of the fill-in students and everything. And then past that or so, we got a chance to meet a little bit more over time for, basically different RPs from, you know, University RP, and then so on, and then maybe one more after that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But past that, yeah, that's how it started, and that was, like, in almost late 2018, I think, when we first met, or 2019 or so, somewhere in between there. Well, actually,
I think it was around 2019.
Might be on hand. But past that entirely on hand, let me ask about your VRChat origins. What got you started in VRChat? Like, what was it, like YouTube video, maybe an ad, maybe something that kind of piqued your interest on hand?
I actually don't remember exactly, because in the past I remember when I started building my gaming PC, I was actually making it specifically for VR. I must have seen some kind of YouTube video, but later in, I think, early 2018, I think I saw some videos. I know I saw some VRChat compilation videos. I think Hey I'm B, I watched a little bit, and at that time, I saw a bunch of funny stuff, including Uganda Knuckles on there, and I was just like, oh man, I can't wait to get VR. And then later someone told me, oh, it's desktop too. I was just like, what? So I could jump on before VR? So I did it.
Yeah. It was like one of those things where, like, I guarantee you, most of the people you ever met, like, before, when they first jumped on VRChat, actually jumped on, like, in desktop first, before they ever got themselves a VR headset. Like, just to kind of get the idea of what they're getting themselves into, if it's worth getting a VR headset. And so far, pretty much, like, almost 90% of the time, people will be like, yeah, I need to get a VR headset just because I'm experiencing only half of what I got right now. So.
Well, yeah, seeing everyone else with VR, then you want to get VR, and then I got full body, and then I got index. So, like, all my upgrades in VR was because of VRChat, to be honest.
Very much so. Very much so on hand, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't start with just a VR headset. It starts with, like, it doesn't just stop there. Basically, you know, you got to get the, you know, full body tracking and everything, just so you can be a little bit more expressive and everything. Because apparently certain certain places VRChat require it on hand, depending on what you want to go for.
Well, yeah, VRChat's definitely I mean, as like it or hate VRChat, it's invested by big companies. Most people get VRs because VRChat is free, even in desktop, and people are just like, everyone else, all my friends in game have VRs, so I want to get it.
Yeah.
Now.
And there you go. There you go on hand. Let me ask about your hobbies on hand besides this game in general. Now, I'll be honest with you, I know about your drawings. I know about the fact that you do a lot of animations here and there or so. I don't think I ever knew what kind of games you play on hand, for the most part, entirely. I feel like some of them are VR related. Other times I feel like there might be something in between here and there. But I can't say for sure, but we'd like to know on hand.
Let's see. Hobbies now, I kind of play a little bit of League of Legends. When I first had my laptop, though, like way before VRChat, as a kid and growing up as an adult, was always League of Legends ranked play.
Okay. League of Legends like playing.
Yeah, I did that a lot.
Anything else past games in general, like any other certain hobbies on hand you have? Or
hasn't been too much of that. I've been trying my hand at some like wood burning, regular kind of like art stuff in real life. Tried a little bit of leather work. It's been a little bit difficult sometimes, so it's mostly been, even before, kind of like any type of game-wise, I used to do hand drawing art before I got the tablet to start doing digital art.
I got you. I got you on hand. I mean, it's always good to have like a different creativity on hand for what you want to work with, and sometimes, you know, you want to go beyond past the pen and paper. You want to go for like maybe a tablet or something digital, just so you can have more like something more on hand to help you out here and there. But
yeah,
definitely. You mentioned leather work, so I assume you're like a blacksmith or so, or or
blacksmith would be working with iron or metal, so it would be a leather crafter would technically be it. But I've only done a tiny bit. I know how to do it, but some of the projects I kind of like gave up because I was going through a rough patch, and then I got VR, so I was just always on VR.
No,
and streaming, of course.
No, I got you. I got you on hand, and I'm glad you got yourself out of that rough patch. For all sake, very glad you did. Let me talk about the VRChat scene now. In this current present right now, from like any time you ever hop on or so, or basically go see friends, or being able to see what's going on here and there or so, what is the scene like for you? What do you think about it?
Well, I think, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think VRChat's changed so drastically. Things are getting okay now, a little bit better. Like, is VRChat Plus the new system where now you can see people for everyone's the same, rather than seeing colors and numbers as visitor, user, known, trusted, all that stuff. But I think some of the updates have caused enough people to change, if that makes any sense.
No, I got you. I mean,
yeah, because back then you'd only have Do Not Disturb and Join, but now so many people, like even when I've been trying to get back, because I had a very big rough patch. I needed like a few months to have a big mental break. I had a really serious issue that happened. That stopped like me doing everything and getting back. Even before that, just feels like 80% of my friends list is always on Ask Me or private worlds. So I think most people have changed to where it feels social, but harder to just jump around everywhere like you used to.
Also, if I can add my 2 cents in there, when you have like everybody on Ask Me or just kind of like in private world, sometimes, if not most of the time, you wonder if whether or not you can actually request on them or not, just because you have no idea if they're busy. You have no idea if, for all intents and purposes, that they'll be able to be open to be able to talk to you or so. Sometimes it's hard to know, especially wherever they are.
Yeah, there's a realistic aspect, and there's a kind of like, you know how they're saying there's a technical aspect actually and a social aspect. Technically, the Ask Me means request, and then they'll let you know if they want you in or not. But the social aspect is people are more kind of awkward to request off people, especially if you requested off them in the past, they don't respond, so you kind of just like, I don't know, and you don't want to feel like you're spamming them.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the key thing right there. It's like, you don't want to be rude to anybody, like especially if it's your friends or anything in general, and it makes it harder because it kind of conflicts with what you want to do. Like you want to see everybody.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to see everybody when they're on the status that you are pretty much complex by. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely a lot harder with some people I used to hang out with all the time, or just never respond, or always in private worlds, or like I actually, because I haven't been on for a tiny bit on VRChat. As soon as I joined in here, I have people requesting on me. I'm just like, I'm sorry, let me just change to my actual status as busy, so people know, hey, that's why I'm not responding. But a lot of people don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes people just don't use that status for their full effect on hand, which honestly,
Yeah.
if you have the option to do that, work with it. You know, it helps out for the most part. Let me talk about let me talk about a few RPs on hand with you. Go down memory lane on hand. Now we talked about VR High, and I'll let you know on hand. I do remember being in that one place with you for VR High. I remember one of the episodes on hand when you were like a fill-in student. I do remember that. This was before basic. This was before I had to make my exit, just because I got a little bit kind of burnt out with how things were during it at that time. Me and one other person, and we decided to kind of like make a quiet exit out of it or so, because we wanted to do some other things. But past that, what about the university RP on hand?
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed and loved that one. And I believe it was Setsu Fox that originally I think I hung out with, and then they invited me and said, oh, there's a bunch of people here. There's a bunch of people here from VR High. I'm just like, oh, cool. And then I got to get along with everyone better. I feel like a lot of people were enjoying my company. Some people felt, especially at first, felt a little bit off. Maybe because, like, brand new person, they still need to get to know you.
Yeah, chemistry.
But I feel like, I felt like later on in the university, I was very accepted by a lot of people, with a few hiccups now and then, but it was human things. And unfortunately, because of something that happened, like, I don't mind saying it because you're streaming though, but a certain situation that happened, if you don't mind saying it, has nothing to do with anyone in the RP.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. If you feel like you need to say it, go right ahead. Be honest for yourself.
All right. I had to take a break from everything, and I told Chaotic, who was in charge, you can tell everyone, an ex-girlfriend I dated literally convinced a lot of people they committed suicide, and I was mentally broken. I didn't sleep for 3 days, 4 days maybe. I slept like 4 hours within that time.
I see.
Then I was like, okay, I'm breaking. I am snapping at people. I'm snapping at someone that I never wanted to snap at to. And because I snapped at them, I said, okay, you know what? I barely slept. I'm going on a vacation. I drove like 4 or 5 hours to a spa resort for like 3 days, 4 nights, or 4 days, 3 nights, just to have to myself, because I was like, I need a break from everything.
I gotcha.
I felt like I couldn't stop it, and that's why, if anyone that does follow me, my Twitch has been had a long break. My YouTube animations have a long break because all my motivation just completely like dropped, because that was something that really hurt me emotionally.
I see.
And then later I found out they lied, which was stupid. I was like, why did I get broken up? Why did everyone else start to kind of believe it when she lied? Because she was actually cheating on me.
I'm sorry to hear that. Like I said, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's just like, did I really get manipulated? But they manipulate a lot of people. But it's because they erased everything, all their online presence. Someone else found them and sent to me. That's how I found out. But
okay.
I have a tougher skin now, I think, because of that. What happened?
Yeah, and I can assure you, because of that, or so, when it basically hurt you so emotionally on hand, where you needed to go find yourself. You needed some time for yourself. You needed to go find yourself. You needed time to be able to pick yourself back up, piece by piece. And then the moment this all happened on hand, you just felt like that was like, it did hurt you emotionally, but at the same time or so, it also felt like a really bad stab to your conscience, like for a human being, where it just makes it harder for like somebody to be able to get back into a relationship, or makes it harder to be able to you basically got to put up a few walls on hand just to basically feel out a person a little bit more. You want to get to know them as their true selves before you get to know them as whatever little bit about themselves on hand. If that makes any sort of sense on hand. I understand that.
Yeah, it does, because the only reason why it hurt so much is because it reminded me of, one, I couldn't help them. Two, when I was younger, I had a friend that actually was telling me, oh, hey, he really needs to talk about something, and because I was tired from work, I said, okay, maybe we can wait a couple days, but it never came because I felt like I was responsible. He committed suicide also. So I felt responsible from back then, and that's what this one reminded me, because it was someone that I felt a strong emotion towards.
It was a mental scar for you. Mental scar on hand, and when this happened again, it felt like that wound you had that you thought you healed from at times. Basically, it just came back to you really hard.
Exactly.
And like I said, I'm really sorry you had to go through a lot of that on hand. I really am. And I want to let you know on hand or so, if you ever just want to hang out with us, or basically no matter what, like with my friends or any people you know on hand, feel free to join on me or anything. I usually have things for friends and guests, and most of the times if it's like anything invite, it's basically RP related or just request on me. It's all good, dude. I want to throw that out there as a hand, and whether or not you want to take that hand or so, that is up to you. I leave those choices for you in general. Because I don't want you to feel like you're alone, or feel like that basically there's nothing but a knife waiting for you anytime you stick your hand out.
Oh yeah, I don't usually feel that way, but I definitely know that I'll be able to try to hang out with more people. I've been coming back to VRChat kind of slowly.
No, I understand. I understand fully. And past RPs or anything in general, let me ask about your old VRC memories. Like, when I say old VRC memories, it's like, what is, like, say, maybe a funny moment that pops in your head, or maybe like a moment that you remember on hand, like vividly when you think about it, like something that sticks to you.
Honestly, I don't really know. I think it's more of just actually being friended by some of the bigger streamers I've met, like Neither VR. Let's see. Dang, I had a lot of them. I know I have Chromia. I was hanging out with Chromia a lot. I was hanging out with... I can't remember off the freaking top of my head, but I know I have a bunch of them, like, actually friended, but I don't request them a lot. Oh, Curry, that was also a good one. Curry Games.
Yeah, I will say it's always interesting to be able to meet the people you see, like, in so many different videos on hand or so. Like story-wise in general, how I found VRC was for YouTube, and the person who kind of got me interested in kind of checking it out was like two people on hand. One of them was DreckWiz, the other one was Bim VR. And I was like, okay, this is interesting to look at. I went to go basically have a look at this, and it's one of those things where you get starstruck by somebody you never thought you'd be able to cross paths with. And sure enough, in like a public lobby, like Guy at Night, I remember, I was just basically talking to whoever it was, and then over the hill, here comes a giant sack boy running across. And sure enough, they looked at me and said, "Are you Iron Man?" I said, yes, I am. And they go, "Well, Batman's better." Just basically being DreckWiz as ever. And yeah, it's just one of those things where you get a chance to meet those you never thought you get a chance to meet on video-wise or so. But it's a nice feeling on hand, because because once you get a chance to at least hang out with them a little bit, be able to feel them out, or feel the chemistry around them, the personality. You begin to realize, past the entire like starstruck kind of feeling on hand, you realize they're human beings too. They're human beings too, like anybody else out there.
Yeah, because I know people call me big and famous. I'm just like, no, I'm not. I'm not like a Lolathon or something. And like all these big people, I'm just like, no, I just want to hang out with people. I want to make them laugh and kind of like, make people happy, because that's why I came to VRChat. That's why I fell in love with VRChat. Making people laugh, snort, pass out from laughing, just having a good time, forgetting. Some people might be going through the things that I've gone through, so maybe if I can cheer them up, I'll be like, you can still recover if you can laugh and smile.
Definitely on hand. And it's funny. It's funny too when you think about it. Now that you mention it, it's funny because of the fact that no matter where you are in the world or so, you can reach out and basically touch a person's life on hand, no matter how far away you are. And this game kind of brought that feeling together. Like from the start, it kind of brought that feeling where basically, like, think about it. How would you feel with the fact that basically you were able to talk to somebody all the way across the continent on hand? Be able to talk to somebody saying like Germany, Russia, maybe someone in China, maybe someone in Japan, or someone in Australia, all the way over or so, and be able to have like a conversation with them, get to know them as a human being. It's usually like one of those feelings.
Well, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. As far as you know.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, so some of my really good friends are outside of America, Japan, England. I think there's one in Canada, but yeah, reaching and making good friends from different countries you never would have found.
And it brings all that together. Like, VRChat's a small community on hand, but some of the people or so are all the way across the world. Yet this game brought everybody together close to like a neighborhood, where you could be able to chance to get to see everything. I don't think people understand that kind of gift on hand you have, where basically you can meet everybody. All thanks to this game.
Well, it feels more personal than just two Call of Duty people in a lobby, because then you just talk smack at each other. This one you feel more like a second-hand kind of like personality, because especially if you can see hands moving when they have VR.
You can see hands, you can see mouse moving, you can see like when the eyes blink and everything. Second-handed, yeah. Very second-handed on hand.
Yeah.
So,
it's still kind of a personal feel.
Personal feel, but it's a good feel. I mean, it's kind of like the new wave of how video gaming, or basically the future of social will go, where, again, when you were growing up, you didn't think that VR would actually get to that point where basically we're like this, where it's not like .hack or basically Sword Art Online, but we're able to basically put on a headset and basically see people, even if it's different models or like whatever you want to be or so. Just be able to see them is the aspect we didn't think we would reach.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it, but I think because certain things they're progressing faster. Like I was expecting like .hack and all that kind of. It's just a headset. Maybe you got hands to controllers, which was starting to be making sense. But then you got the full body tracking, which makes sense. Then you're about to have the full body suit.
Yep.
All this stuff coming. It's just like, wow, it's progressing pretty fast.
Yep, progressing very fast on hand, and over time or so, I guarantee people are going to have a VR headset. Over time. Like, right now, it's kind of like, still expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's still expensive on hand to get, like, a VR headset. But over time or so, people are going to be able to have their own VR headset and just be able to be connected with everybody around the world. No matter where you are.
Yeah.
No matter where you are. So, speaking of which, let me ask about the VRChat Current Present on hand. When you first started VRC in general, on hand, your first day, compared to where we are right now or so, what are some of the things you wish haven't changed compared to some of the things you're glad that have been changed over time?
Let's see, VRChat specifically. Well, I do like how they upgraded to 2018. The only issues I kind of had with that is maybe I've found a way to wipe some of the older worlds that don't exist, even though, because everyone complained about them, but they never go to them anymore because they're broken.
Yeah.
2018 kind of has an issue, but it's also trying to adapt to older versions of Unity, which is not really supposed to happen. That's why we're having some VRChat issues. I wish that they maybe upgrade or expand the servers, something to increase things. I didn't like so much the update with the trusted users. Like, I still liked it, where you could show off the trusted user, but it was also harder. Well, I don't think that was actually that bad. I think the only real issue I ever had was the Ask Me button.
Yeah.
If you want my honest opinion, that's the only thing I actually wish did not happen.
No, I got you.
Just go to green or do not disturb.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, it's understandable why, because, well, we talked about this on here with the Ask Me thing. I will say, add a little bit more into the whole trusted user thing. I will say with the whole trusted user thing on hand, with it or so create like this whole no man's land kind of thing, where if there's somebody in there that you don't know, who's green, blue, orange, or purple or so, you wouldn't try to trust anybody who's basically like starting new, because during that time, like when it first released and everything, during that time or so, that's when the worst of the worst begin to show itself, where certain people just come in. They're not coming in to basically socialize, they're just coming in to basically, being complete asses to everybody around you. Or basically doing it just for that shock of the moment, shock jock kind of thing on hand, where it permanently stained people's minds with public worlds, where basically they're worried about,
It kind of did, yeah.
Yeah. Worse enough, when you had like the crashers and basically model rippers on hand, it permanently stained the minds of those who have been around the longest, because it's like, well, crap, I can't go in there, because if somebody sees like the stats and everything, they probably could do something towards me. If not, maybe try to like do something to my own computer. One of the most worriest things on hand for what people believe on hand. But I will say, with this new status right here, this new nameplate, you don't see any purple or anything. You just see like a regular nameplate. So that kind of hides like 50% of it, where basically people don't know you as like a trusted user, so unless they highlight you. But past that or so, it saves you, or so it kind of eliminates that fear a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I've never had an issue going to public worlds, except for like the random lobby crash. It depends on what world it is. But no one's ever had an issue with me. The only people I've ever noticed that have issues are honestly some people that have changed from a nice person to a self-entitled person, and those are the people that usually act like arses towards visitor, user, and all that stuff. They try to act like they're better because they're trusted.
No, I got you.
And that's the people. That's what I felt like, at least, because when I've come around as trusted, no one has an issue with me, because I try to make people laugh. I don't give off a douchey kind of vibe. Some people have honestly changed into douchey.
No, that's fine. I mean, also, I'll let you know, you can be brutally honest of how you feel. Like, trust me, there's no rating to whatever I do interview-wise or so. Like, basically, if you feel like somebody's being a complete asshole to you or so, you could say, hey, they're being a complete asshole, It's fine.
Okay, I was just making sure
then.
No,
you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
People used to be nice.
Yep.
A lot of people I used to know used to be super nice and everything, but if my 100 honest opinions, some people have become Twitch streamers, and they become self-entitled. They have become the T word, because they're on Twitch.
Yep.
They have, and it's like they show cleavage and everything online. They become super, oh, everyone look at me, and it's just like, they never hang out with me anymore. They don't hang out with a lot of people. They just have self-entitled. They go to worlds. They're turning into fucking assholes, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, that's fine.
So many people from VRChat, not VRChat itself, the people that I've known, especially with the coronavirus going on, they have changed so much. I've actually had to, like, when my mental status was like trying to, like, fix my own thing, take care of myself.
Yeah.
I had to unfriend so many people because I'm like, I don't like your personality anymore. You're basically a sexual, not like just sexual humor. I join on them and they're always ERPing. I'm just like, I don't want you on my friends list anymore. I don't want to join a Friends Plus and you have a bunch of naked avatars. Thankfully, it takes me a little bit longer to load, so they say, get out of here. We're naked. I'm just like, go to freaking private.
No, I got you. I mean, I understand fully, just because it's like this weird trend with VRC, where I get it, where, everybody could be expressive and being themselves or so, but, it's one of those things where basically when you merge your own reality, your own personality into something, because keep in mind, virtual reality is completely fake, no matter what, or so the person behind it is real, but the virtual reality of everything in general, like, is completely fake. Some people can't seem to separate that. It's kind of like with the whole, like, role-playing thing. Some people can't separate their role-play personalities with their real personalities, to where basically it merges together and they can't see real from fake. So I get you on hand. That's the whole trend too with what you just mentioned on hand, because people can't seem to realize that whatever they're trying to feel isn't really real unless you're unless you're basically going to be dating that person outside of VRChat. So,
Yeah, I've had some. I've definitely, because I'm taking a long break from like any type of relationships to be like, no, I don't want to deal with this because so many people have. They just act like it's a play thing rather than just an actual person behind this character. I'm just like, someone would break up and say, oh, it's just a game. I'm just like, am I a game? I'm pretty sure I'm a real person behind this avatar you see.
No, I got you. No, I understand.
Too many people just mess around. I guess if you want to mess around, okay, but don't say you want like, a boyfriend or a girlfriend if you're not going to try to, be a little more serious because...
Yeah, the hopeless romantic approach. You were basically, you basically, it's one of those things where they forget, there's a human being, basically, they could believe they could just bounce off one person to another person to another person, as if there's not going to be any consequences with that,
Yeah, social consequences, especially.
Yeah, VRChat's great. I will say it's just a gray area on hand with certain people, but it is how it is.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, because...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, because just pretty much like anyone that does any type of online VR chat relationship, they can work because long distance relationships can work. It depends on what kind of person you are.
Yeah. What kind of person you are and basically how upfront you are personality wise. Because keep in mind, if you are a real person and you have a real personality, there's nothing fake about you. There's basically, if there's nothing, nothing fake about you on hand, and basically you're willing to be upfront and honest as a human being towards somebody else or so, it will work. No matter how long it's going to take for you to both basically be in like a house or something together or apartment. But if it gets to the point where basically you can't separate two personalities from one, your VR chat personality and your real personality, then basically what will happen is like nobody will be, the person you're trying to date is not going to tell who's the real person. Like it's going to mess with them mentally, where basically they're going to have trust issues.
Exactly. What that just comes up to communicating, and honestly, most of them, as soon as I started feeling something was up, they started to like not want to communicate.
Which
a lot of people just fail at it because it's also an online game. In person, you can talk to them, but in the game, I gotta say, I don't want to deal with you anymore. Unfriend, block.
Yeah.
And the other person's just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Which, by the way, I just thought of something. I want to point this out, and you can agree with this. When I say communication is not hard. It is not hard at all. Like, it's not hard in the sense of basically, like, let me put it this way. Otaku, if you ever had a problem with me about anything in the world or so, or basically if there's something that wrongs you or so, you can easily just stay up front, hey, hey, I got a problem with you. No matter what it is or so. And basically, because here's the thing. There are people who have a problem with somebody, but they sit on it. Or basically, they would sit on it and just not, talk it out with somebody. They'd rather sit on it and let it store up emotionally, and then finally, when that emotion snaps on hand, they basically snap on this person who has no clue what happened. So,
yeah, that's more of a behavioral environment at the same time, because if I have an issue with somebody, or if I don't like what someone's doing, depending on how big of an issue it is, then I'll try and bring them up privately to talk to them. But mostly I'm just like, okay, maybe it's just me, and then later on it turns out to be nothing. But there's a lot of people that adapted to not talk because the people that have blown up on them over the small thing, like, oh hey, this small little thing you do, maybe I don't want you kind of being a little bit too flirty, or doing this or that around other people because we're in a relationship, and they snap at them and they break up. So they close themselves off to like, maybe I don't want to bring my problems to people, kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's also to the fact that on hand where, again, when I mentioned about the whole VR chat personality to basically the real personality on hand, for some reason or so, people automatically assume you're supposed to know there's a problem about them or so. Like, through, like, this game, or basically, like, you can see if it's, like, in real life on social media, that's fine. But when it comes to, like, this game in general, I'm not going to know if you have a personality unless you... Oh, I'm not going to know if you have a problem unless you bring up there's a problem on hand. It's those kind of things on hand where no one knows if they have a problem unless they bring up there's a problem, no matter what it is or so. Like, they rather sit on it and hope that people can figure it out as if they're mind readers, or they know on hand. And it sucks too, because that breaks a lot of friendships on hand, and sometimes people are not willing to be coming forth up and just basically, stand up on their own 2 feet and basically have a spine and say, hey, I have a problem with you. basically be direct forward with it, you know? It sucks, really.
Exactly.
It sucks on hand. So...
It does.
I hope for the... I mean...
But then you also find the really good people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I found some really good people. I found some really good people on hand, and I could tell you, over the time I've known them, for years or so, they've never changed. They've always been themselves. They never changed anything about themselves, their personality, everything. They're themselves, 100%. And I appreciate them, no matter what. Pretty much you have those people, too. Those people that love and care about you, because they care about you. The person behind the VR headset, not what you are, VR-wise, not VR personality-wise, the person in general. The real human being. Those are the people that you should always have with you. Yeah, they still
care. Yeah, and it's nice to hear when people have actually told me, saying they've seen so many people change in VRChat over the years, and they said, you've been on this game for almost 3 years, you are still the same person. I'm just like, yeah, because I like to keep things real. Yeah, I have on my stream, I still have my main personality, which is me.
Yes.
And I just want to be comical, make people laugh. In roleplays, I might change to a character, but out of roleplay, I go back to my regular, this is who I am.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely on hand. Pretty much the saying on, pretty much a small saying on hand that I've been told before, and I'm pretty sure you might have been told this. Basically, be real, never fake. Be real, never fake. Be yourself, and don't be somebody else. So.
And don't fake orgasms. Guys hate that.
Oh yeah, well, depending on what situation that is, I mean, just saying, wherever that is, you know, whatever that is on hand. So, I will say, is there anything you looking forward towards or so? Like what, pretty much like, it could be like outside of VRChat in general. Like, say, if you had like the curiosity to see, like, maybe, you know, Neos VR or Chill Out VR, or basically, like, anything VR related. Anything you're looking forward towards?
Let's see. I'm actually looking forward to sometime in the future if they had like a full dive VR, but maybe the next VRChat update, which would be, I think, the Unity 2020, because that'll be more stable. There'll be a little more stuff. I'm waiting for the next Huggy Dungeon horror game to come out. I'm waiting to kind of like maybe get YouTube partner. I'm working on that. I'm working on Twitch partner. That's going to take a lot longer. I know that.
Yeah, it's a patience test. Yeah, it's a patience test on hand too. Like, understand. I'm just going to say this too, and this is the best advice that's been told to me. I'm pretty sure somebody told you this. If you ever want to try to go for Twitch partner, have like 2 audiences, like one in YouTube, one in Twitch. That way, when they begin to grow or so, and you can easily promote what you do on Twitch or so, that audience will be able to come by, see what you're doing, and then bam, you're able to kind of like get that certain community growth on hand. It just takes time with it, because community building is kind of like a puzzle piece. You find the right pieces on hand, but it takes time to build that great frame for it, or so, just to hold it sturdy before you can build inside. Good.
Yeah, I've been trying to start building on YouTube again, because I used to do VRChat compilations. Those kind of got a little bit, but I made the animations, they're starting to grow. I'm just like, well, I need to really actually work on the YouTube, because then if that grows, I can still get, you know, if I get partner, I can get maybe $5 to $20 per video eventually, and let them know about my Twitch if they want to, like, you know, chill or something. But if I grow more on YouTube, that'll actually make my Twitch grow.
Yeah. I like to have a balance where basically I do like 1 video a week, and then basically have my stream schedule on hand, because that way it takes time. That way I'm basically being consistent in 2 different apartments on hand. Like, I'm not going to have like 2 videos a week or so. That's going to kill me, especially when, you know, you 3-day all-nighters when you're trying to edit a bunch of stuff. But, or just kind of like balance everything else in general. So, but it takes time. It takes time on hand, as long as we stay consistent, being patient with it. Keyword, patience. Trust me. There's people in this world that basically can't stay patient for a lot of things on hand when it comes to, like, working towards something. They hope to basically get it like in a matter of a year or so, rather than basically constantly like keep an eye on the horizon, but know how to build a staircase to where they want to go. Takes time. Sturdy staircase, by the way.
Exactly.
But let me throw a curveball your way, and that's basically, let's talk about anime. let's talk about a little bit of
Ooh,
anime.
anime.
Anime, yeah, here we go. Anime. Your name is OtakuHound, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be very good in this department on hand. So when I say the word anime, what's the first series that comes to your mind?
Well, the absolute first one was probably Sword Art Online is what came in my mind, but there's a whole bunch that I've watched. I'm taking a little break from anime.
Not a problem. Whole bunch on hand. Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of bunch on hand, especially with the next two questions I have. The next question I have is basically, what's your favorite series? Like, how many series? Like, what's your favorite series that are out there? So, like, it doesn't have to be one. It could be like so many others that come to you.
Well, I know my number one favorite anime is Shakugan no Shana. I'm waiting for the next Attack on Titan because I still like it, and I'm still waiting, hopefully, as much for No Game No Life because I liked how it was how the visual animation was, and I also love the how it's very mentally thinking about every single scene.
Throws a curveball your way when you least expect it. I've seen like some of the series on hand. It's like for some reason it's like it took a lot of. I guarantee it probably took a lot of time on hand for them to kind of like figure things out, what they could do where you at least expect like a small curveball with it until like it just suddenly happens. Like, oh damn, I didn't think about that one.
Oh yeah. Definitely didn't think about that. And it's a really big brain. You really have to use your brain to think about all this stuff going on.
Yeah, very big brain on hand. Last question to this department of anime is basically what is the series that hit you close to home? Like when you watched and everything, you felt like it was about you, or like you felt it right in the heart emotionally.
Let's see, which one actually hit me really close to home? I actually can't think of that one right now because I've seen so many, I actually don't really know. I think most of the ones I hit are the slice of life ones. I know Clanad was a good one, Clanad Afterstory, Chobits. What was that one? Metabots, I think. Maybe as a kid, I really liked that one.
No, I got you. No, I got you on hand. I mean,
yeah, I actually don't know if there was any real anime off the top of my head that hit me, but there's probably usually been some that have hit me close.
Yeah, there probably have been. It's just a matter of like searching for your thoughts and find it. And I can assure you, it'll come to you when you least expect it. Like, I guarantee you, when you watch whatever anime it is or so, it'll come to you when you least expect it on hand. And be like, oh, I remember this. Oh no, that sudden feeling. It's like I know what this is going to lead to. So. This leads me to my last question on hand. As you can see, I have this camera right here, and I'm going to let you take center stage for this to be able to look at that. And what I'm going to say is this. The question I have for you is this. What are your goals and dreams? And at best, what is the best advice you can ever give to anybody? I'm going to back up. I'm going to let you have the floor for this.
All right. So let's see. What are some goals and dreams I have? Definitely goals would be to get... financially stable through Twitch and YouTube someday. I extremely have a goal of starting a family someday. I want to have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. One of the things I would really, really love to have someday is to have a lot of money so I could actually open and build my own no-kill pet shelter. That would be something I'd love to have. So no animal would be euthanized or put down just because they're not adopted. It would only be if they're in critical injury. But I would want that so no animal has to really get thrown away. Maybe, look at donating to like a fox exhibit. Pretty much definitely want to get my own house and want to be able to take care of a family is one of my biggest goals, more than YouTube and Twitch, is just to have a family. And that's pretty much it for the goals that I can think about.
And what would be the best advice you can ever give to anybody on hand?
Oh, yeah. The best advice would be... The best advice would definitely be... Make sure you have some good friends. Avoid the very toxic ones when you know that they're toxic. Be truthful to people. Be honest. just be the best person you can as a friend to them, because how can you expect them to be a good friend to you if you won't be a good friend to them? And one of the big quotes that's actually hanging on my wall right here, it was by Jimi Hendrix. It's, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. That's what I try to work on. Was I choose to be around people and be social and love people or friends or be a good person socially, and I don't want to try to cause issues. If someone else causes issues, I just walk away and I just let them rant, because eventually they're like a fire that dies out. You don't want to add more fire to it. I just try to be myself, be caring, try to help people, make people laugh and feel better. So that's one of my favorite quotes. That's why it's on a scroll my old friend gave me a long time ago, and it's a good quote to live by.
All right, well, there we go. I will say on hand, Ursa, you definitely got a lot on your plate for the most part, but I know for a fact with how determined you are and how much a lot of work you're going to be putting in, I can see you basically succeeding on that. I see it. More than anything else on hand, you got a long ways to go, but as long as you stay patient with it, you're definitely going to get it. So, before we call the interview on hand, does anybody have any questions for OtakuHound on hand? Any questions on hand? I do have a starter question on hand that I will ask you on hand, and that's basically this. Are you a big Mega Man fan?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Mega Man Zero.
Mega Man Zero.
Mega Man Zero, not the Mega Man X Zero. Mega Man Zero specifically.
I'm guessing I'm guessing because of how, if I remember Mega Man Zero, I'm guessing it's because of how, like, the art style to it looks, or basically just how, like, the story to it is a little tragic on hand, especially when you get to the last game of it.
Yeah, it would definitely be the Mega Man Zero. The story and the way the character looks, he doesn't look super big and clunky. The Mega Man X Zero, they look bigger and clunkier, thicker.
Yep.
And that's the same way that Mega Man X Zero is. He looks clunkier. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that's the Mega Man X Zero. Mega Man Zero has his own Mega Man X Zero, Mega Man Zero 1, 2, 3, 4, ZX. ZX2, those versions, that's where mine's based off of. Looks more like a human with armor, even though it's an android. Yeah. Not like a full-on robot android. Yeah,
I think it's just because of how it looks, like, size-wise, as well as the fact that it has a mouth movement. Because usually when you think of android and everything, you don't think about, well, I mean, you can think about, like, Dragon Ball Z, like, androids, but when you think of, like, normal concept of an android, you think it's kind of, like, mostly robotic, before it's, like, very humanoid on hand.
Yeah, it's actually fun, though, too. The original concept art I made for my character for this to work, the guy that was making it, he actually suggested the glasses. He put them on. I was just like, I love it.
Yeah, glasses are nice. I'm guessing that's from Gurren Lagann. Or...
I have absolutely no idea. He made everything from scratch. He just said, what if he did glasses like this?
No, I got you. So, they look nice on hand. I do have a question from Malone here. Basically, what got you into anime?
What got me into anime? I think it was the art style and the storytelling is better than like 90% of cartoons that were in America when they came out. I remember my first anime was, I believe, Digimon, Pokemon, and I think even before those was Cardcaptor Sakura, which, I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of like Powerpuff Girls. Is it really a girl show when boys could still enjoy it because of violence? The art was good, the storytelling was good. It was very kind of like fantasy.
No, I got you.
So, like, all the stuff that happens, their art style is just so much better than most cartoons in America, especially at that time. They're more simple.
I feel you. No, I feel you on hand, and it's one of those times where, like, there might actually been like a complex story on hand that we might have not known on hand, but as a kid or so, we pay attention to the story, but it kind of like falls along with it. There may be more stuff to it than we didn't know, but as we got older, we kind of look back and be like, okay, you know, it's kind of like one of those Easter eggs, or like certain gray areas, like in the 90s, where people would say like certain comments or references that go over your head because you didn't know anything about it, and then when you got older, it's like, oh damn, how'd they get away with that? So.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. Then you revisit some American cartoons when you're an adult, and you're just like, wait, that's an adult joke. A kid show.
I do have one more question from Malone here. Basically, which would be preferred? I assume this is for Card Capture Sakura. I'm not sure. But basically, which would be preferred, the anime or the manga? I assume it might be depending on. I assume it's like Card Capture Sakura they're talking about. Not sure.
Well, I've never read the manga. I mean,
depending on your preference, I think.
I think especially now, I prefer anime a lot. But as a kid too, when there was like a bookstore, I understand the difference of anime and manga. I prefer the anime because there's a bunch of action sequences. Action scenes are a lot better to look at. It's more visually there. You don't have to read. Like Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, the Broly movie.
Yep.
So a lot of action. But I remember in the mangas, because I think I watched the anime Negima, and then I read the manga, and there was just so much more in there. I was just like, this is interesting. They have so much more in here than the actual, like, one season anime. It's just like, why didn't they expand that? The manga usually gives you a lot more. Sometimes the anime changes from the story a little bit. Oh, Zatch Bell. I also watched that as a kid.
Oh, actually, that's a good one.
I watched.
They never finished that.
Like,
yeah, they never finished it.
Wait, they never finished the manga?
No, the anime to it. Like, when I saw Zatch Bell, it was like on Cartoon Network, like Toonami and everything. They never finished the whole thing through Toonami. Like, when they got to the castle and everything, like, it lifted on a cliffhanger during Toonami-wise.
Yeah, Toonami, sometimes they've canceled them, but I did watch it, like, I think last year. I rewatched it just to see everything, and I watched it at the very end. It even says at the very end, like, last episode or two, the ending, it even says the ending's different than the manga. So that's where some people were upset. But I did watch it all the way through, and not on Toonami, straight online, just watching it. It does finish the story, but it tries to give its own ending instead of the official ending.
No, I got you. Damn. Well, I guess with that in mind... Okay, one last question. All right, Alone, what is your last question on hand? Also, yeah, Senpai, what is anime? Well, it's very cool cartoons. I can tell you that much. With a lot of different stuff to it.
Definitely.
Alright. Let me see. Okay, what is your last question on hand, Alone? Okay, yeah, alright. What is your favorite character from Satch? Actually, I got two questions here for you, but basically, one from Alone, basically, last one being, what is your favorite character from Zatch Bell?
What was my favorite character from Zatch Bell?
Yep.
Let's see. Well, it was probably Zatch, to be honest. It was hard to know all of them. Even if I watched it a long time ago, it was hard to say, but I think it would still be Zatch, the main one.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to have, like, a doll that fires, like, a lightning blast out of their mouth?
Yeah, Zakir.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
And this one's actually from Chaotic. Question would be, would you care to join the guild?
That's not an anime, right? Is that
no, it's not an anime.
Is that...
I think they're talking about the Mythic Guild RP.
Is that the one that University changed into?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think I would be fine joining again. I mean, I told Chaotic the reason why I left, so I messaged him and he said he could tell you guys, yeah.
No.
But I don't mind joining back in. I don't have issues with anybody. I just needed my own mental break because I was snapping at people that were very close to me.
No, I got you.
So I just needed to... I left a lot of things.
No, you're understandable. It's understandable on hand, and it's understandable for the most part. And I know everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a mental break no matter what it is or so, but for the most part entirely, I hope... I do hope that you have recovered a lot greatly, and basically everything gets a lot better for you. I wish that nothing... I wish nothing more than that on hand, that you basically heal greatly. Especially from some of the stuff you've been through.
Well, let's just say I think my social aspect has definitely recovered like 95%. It's more of my motivation for taking as much time as I need to literally animate again, because I was on a big roll and then died. So I'm back to that. I'm back to Twitch streaming. I'm just trying to get the motivation of, especially when you're a smaller YouTuber that has smaller numbers and you're not really making $1 on your animation, no one realizes how much you have to put in to get nothing while you're still building.
Yeah, I know that feeling too, especially video-wise. Yeah, I know, Chaotic. I know. But yeah, I guess with that in mind and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and just say that will be episode 31 of Shoot the Breeze.